Welcome to Sunday Club in the Stable. I'm Paul, and this is Hannah.
Hi friends, missing you. I hope you're staying safe. I wonder if you've had a chance to watch the story video. If not, there's a link below to the story of Joshua. It's brilliantly done by a church called Saddleback Church. Go have a look before you listen to the rest. I wonder what you do to remember things. Some people used to tie knots in their hankies. Another thing that you could do is write something on your hand to help you remember. The problem with that is it'll probably get washed off before you even remember to do it. I mean, you could write it in your homework diary, or tell an electronic device, "Hey, Siri." Sometimes it's hard to remember things. Think of all of those letters from school that have disappeared into the bottom of your school bag. Or even when those letters, you remember them on the day that you need them. Like, for example, you're meant to be wearing fancy dress to school today. Mum, I have to go to school dressed as a daffodil today. I wonder if that's ever happened to you. God's people in the Bible often had a struggle remembering God, even though he'd done so much for them, rescuing them from being slaves, fed them when it looked like there was no food around, helped them to defeat some baddies without even having to fight sometimes. So, in some ways, it was no surprise when a new leader came along that God said to him right from the beginning, "Be strong and courageous, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." Now, Joshua had been one of two people who had kept believing in God despite some of the chaos that was going on. God was reminding Joshua when he started his new job as the leader of God's people that God was with him whatever they faced. And goodness, they faced some stuff. They had a river to cross, some giant city walls to overcome, God's people having a rebellion, some lies, some silly kings, and so much more. And even after all of that, when Joshua was getting to the end of his job, he still was able to say, "As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." Joshua kept remembering that God was with him always because he'd seen it through his life. Joshua's God is the same God I follow and some of you out there follow. I wonder what we could do to help us remember that the God that helped Joshua is here helping us today. We could tie a knot in our hankies, if you still use them. You could write it somewhere. You could tell something electronic to help you remember. "Hey, Siri." But perhaps don't put it in your school bag to remind you. I'm going to pray for us to help us to remember that God is with us always. Dear God, help us remember that you are with us always, wherever we go and whatever we face. Amen. Hi, thanks for joining Paul and I here for Sunday Club in a Stable. Why not check out St Michael's Church YouTube channel, where you can find craft ideas, creative prayer ideas, stories and games, all in manageable chunks, so you don't have to do everything at once. If you want to send pictures of your family joining in our activities to feature in our videos, feel free. Parents, you find an email address below. Thank you for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Say bye.